wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the local food scene. I regret you're not able to come in person, at least during interview season, to come sample the Pittsburgh fare, but we have learned since moving from Kansas City that Pittsburgh has a ton on offer in the way of amazing local restaurants and a bunch of different neighborhoods that each have their own vibe and character. I think Pittsburgh's kind of a hidden gem when it comes to the food scene. I don't know if I'm qualified to talk about this topic as someone with very few culinary skills myself, but my fiance and I have come to love many of the restaurants here. In fact, Anthony Bourdain actually did a special on Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh, and kind of its burgeoning food scene. I happen to be wearing a shirt of an amazing new restaurant in Braddock, PA, which is about 20 minutes outside Pittsburgh, called Superior Motors. There are all kinds of places like Superior Motors popping up that serve locally sourced food, kind of amazing, unique menus. You can get every kind of cuisine imaginable here. There's a pretty big Thai food scene. There's a lot of Western European, German, other ethnic food. There's all kinds of good pizza places and all kinds of kind of unique restaurants that are not chains that are springing up all over the place. I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about the dining scene, and feel free to reach out with any questions.
During your intern year, you get to go to the ASA conference with your whole intern class. This is a great bonding experience. My class actually chose to stay together in a hostel in San Francisco. Nothing really says bonding like hard bunk beds and close quarters. Might not be your first choice if you want quality sleep, but if you want lasting memories at a really reasonable price, then a hostel is a great choice to stay in. We also had time to explore the city, go shopping together, try out lots of different restaurants, and still attended some of the ASA conference. But overall, the ASA conference is a really fun way to get to know your intern class.
One of the strongest attributes of the UPMC anesthesia program that I've experienced in the last couple of years is how close I feel not only the residents but also the attendings are, and there's just a great sense of camaraderie here. And I think that's a direct result of how many activities we regularly do with each other, from the annual picnic every year that we have to kind of kick off the academic year, as well as many food and beer and wine festivals that we often attend as together as residents, as well as many of the attendings. And there's also an annual holiday party that has been held at the casino and some other nice restaurants. We also play trivia often, weekly trivia at one of the bars, which is a lot of fun. And then Dr. Mitro, the program director, has a lot of access to free tickets to both professional and college sports that he often gives out to residents, so we end up going to those as well. In addition to that, we have started intramural sports together. And one of the attendings also will sometimes have poker nights and have residents and attendings go to that. So it's really an amazing place where you feel close to not only the people in your class, but also older and younger residents, as well as the attendings. And I think that's probably one of the strongest attributes of the program overall.
Pittsburgh is a very proud sports town. Pittsburghers have a ton of civic pride, and that includes for their sports teams who are perennial champions. I'm actually not a Pittsburgh sports fan, being from around Washington, D.C., but that being said, the sports culture here is a lot of fun. We have two beautiful outdoor stadiums for baseball and football, and a hockey arena, which are the pro sports teams. There's also the Pitt college teams, and there's a soccer team here as well. The sports games are a ton of fun, and we go to games as a program, and people go to games on their own too. It's a really welcoming environment. No one's giving me a hard time about rooting for the Washington team. So the sports culture here is a great aspect and a lot of fun for people living here.
One of my favorite parts of Pittsburgh is probably the ease of access to all of the outdoor activities, something that I did not expect at all when choosing Pitt. Every night, my husband and I run on the Three Rivers Trail, which hugs right along the Allegheny River, runs right past the Steelers and the Pirates Stadium. There's endless amounts of biking, including the Great Allegheny Passage that runs from Pittsburgh all the way to DC, or the Montour if you're looking for a shorter day trip. If you're into water activities, obviously Pitt is located right on the water, and there's also an abundance of really great city parks. Riverview Park is one of my favorites, South Park. I never knew that you could hike 5-6 miles in a forested setting right next to a major city. It's pretty great. Those of you who love winter activities, there's also an abundance of that here too, whether it's skiing or tubing or snowboarding. Within just a short 1 to 2 hour drive from Pittsburgh, you can be at some major resorts like Wisp or Laurel Mountain. If you want to go a little bit further into West Virginia, there's even Snowshoe. For those of you who just like to sit on the lake, drink a glass of wine and rewind, there's Deep Creek, which within 2 hours as well. Again, so surprised at the endless amounts of outdoor activities there is here in Pittsburgh, whether it's running, biking, kayaking, hiking. It's just been great. I really have had more time outside as a resident than I did as a medical student in Kansas City. So it's been a great choice for those reasons.